Hi, and welcome to week 2 of our resiliency group. So this week we talked about walking mindfulness. So I'm going to share my screen as I take you through a little bit of information about walking mindfulness. So what is walking mindfulness? Well, walking is something we make use of every day. We may walk to get something out of the fridge, we may walk to the grocery store, we may walk around our neighborhood. We walk through the house, through our streets. So it doesn't really require any extra time out of your day. Walking meditation is a simple and universal practice for developing embodied awareness. So embodied awareness is just bringing awareness of your body and bringing that awareness, that attention and focus that we talked about in week 1. Again, as human beings, we naturally tend to check out when we walk. So we're walking, but our thoughts are somewhere completely different. It can also happen when you're driving. I don't know if you've ever been driving and you notice that you've just gotten from point A to point B, but your mind has been somewhere else. So we go into autopilot. So this is all about bringing us out of autopilot into an intentional self, into an intentional focus. We may, again, when we get into autopilot, we dwell, we plan, we worry, we overanalyze. So it's a very powerful strategy just to bring yourself to the moment. So every time we kind of go into that direction, we move away from the present moment. But as we learn to take time to develop feelings of calm and appreciation for the world around us, we enter into a state of peace and calm. We build our resilience. So researchers have found mindfulness walking significantly reduces anxiety. Again, it's research-based. When our bodies are exposed to a sudden stress or threat, we respond with a characteristic flight or fight response that we talked about in week 1. Now, this is sometimes called the adrenaline rush. So why do we call it an adrenaline rush? Well, it's because hormones rush into our body. So there's hormones such as epinephrine, so adrenaline, or norepinephrine, and they're released through the adrenal glands, resulting in an increase in blood pressure, faster breathing, faster heart rate, increased blood flow to the muscles. So this is that flight or flight. So this is that stress response, okay? So adrenaline rush. Adrenaline is literally going through the body. Whereas the relaxation response is a technique to elicit the opposite reaction from the body. And it's one that we say, again, rest and digest. Now, training our bodies on a daily basis to achieve this state of relaxation can lead to enhanced mood, lowered blood pressure, and a reduction of lifestyle stress. So the benefits of mind-body interventions are relayed via the downregulation of stress, and it's mainly through this part of the brain, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, so HPA axis as it's known. So it's this part of the brain that will trigger the release of these stress hormones that we talked about. And so when we practice something like walking mindfulness, this is the part of the brain that gets altered. It helps to control stress. So the process of walking into a physical space and making oneself available to the various surrounding stimuli may provoke a series of effects on the body and the mind that are mediated by the nervous system. So what we can see is that practicing walking mindfulness impacts the nervous system. So I'm going to take it off screen share now, and we're going to get into this week's practice by starting to pace. Okay, so just get comfortable. Well, what you can do with this technique actually is, the idea of it is when you're walking. So if you're walking through your house, you might do a route around your house. We talked about in group today how we do walking just so we can get the exercise in. And when you're exercising, you're thinking about something else, you're listening, but it's also an opportunity to practice mindfulness. So what we want to start doing is bringing our attention to the soles of our feet. Now, last week we closed our eyes. This week we want to keep them open so that we don't have any falls. So when we close our eyes, trying to balance can cause a risk. So just start to take your deep breaths in. Again, keep your eyes open. We want a natural pace, not too fast, not too slow, just comfortable. Now pay attention to the bottom of your feet as each foot touches the ground. Doesn't matter if you have shoes or not, just notice the sensation. What texture do you feel? What pressure do you feel? Experience that gentle pressure with each step. Again, focus in on the breath. Focus in on the sensation of the soles of your feet. When your mind wanders away from the sensation of your feet, do not hold any judgment. Simply acknowledge that your mind has wandered and gently guide your focus back to your feet. Feel the soles of your feet. Now, as you continue to walk, shift your attention to what you see. Take in all the colors. Notice the shapes. Notice the light. Notice any shadows. Set aside any judgment that comes with what you see. Simply observe. Notice the color of the trees outside your window. Notice the color of the blue sky. Notice any plants within your home, any photo frames, any paper, any pens. Take in the different colors. Just observe. Now, as you continue to walk, shift your attention to what you hear. Notice the sound. Notice them drift on by. Do you hear the sound of distant cars? Do you hear birds chirping? Take time to listen and appreciate these sounds. Now slowly redirect your focus back to your feet, the soles of your feet. Notice the change in texture and pressure. Take one deep, slow, mindful breath in. And again. When you're ready, gently bring your focus back to the screen and to my voice. Now enjoy the rest of your day with an intention to take this mindful awareness with you. Think about how you can apply it to your daily life. When do you walk? When do you check out? When is a good time for you to bring your mindful attention to the present moment while you're walking? I hope that this strategy will work for you. Please stay with us as the following weeks we're going to be going through different strategies. So you might find that one week something works for you and another week it doesn't work as well. So stay tuned in for the upcoming weeks and we'll see you in week 3.